Humber College is located within the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit. Known as Adubagoke, the place of the elders in Michi-Saugich language, the region is uniquely situated along the Humber River watershed, which historically provided an integral connection for Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wyandot peoples between the Ontario Lakeshore and the Lake Simcoe Georgian Bay regions. Now home to people of numerous nations, Adubagoke continues to provide a vital source of interconnection for all.
Wonderful place today.
You should have, right? You should have.
Why did I wear?
Oh, hello. Bonjour. Namaste. Bonjour. Hola. I am Anju Kakkar, Managing Editor of Humber Press at the Office of Research and Innovation, or as we lovingly call it, ORI. I'm going to start with a quote, because I do love my quotes. Maya Angelou said, "There is no greater agony than an untold story that lives in your heart." So beginning with that, this video tutorial is the first of its kind from Humber Press, from the Office of Research and Innovation. As I said, ORI, name of the workshop, Share Your Research Story. In short, SYRS, I'm going to call it Cyrus. We love our acronyms, don't we? So this video tutorial is actually completing a series of workshops that have been developed and curated by a team of experts at ORI as part of the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning, aka SOTL Research Garden. You know, John Green once said, writing is something you often do alone, most often than not. That is somewhere where this video tutorial comes in. You may be wondering, wasn't this supposed to be delivered over Microsoft Teams or possibly in person? Well, yes, you are right, I'll give you that. However, as we started storyboarding and scripting as part of the design process of building this workshop, we asked ourselves a question that we often do, which is, how can we make research, how can we make innovation, and how can we make the dissemination of research and innovation more accessible and approachable to all? How can we reach a wider audience? How can we convince our viewers, our audience, faculty members, students, whoever is watching here, how can we convince them all that they are, in fact, all researchers, that we are all innovators, and we truly are all storytellers? So this video tutorial is going to be in line with our philosophy of storytelling, which is everybody can be storytellers. As you'll see on our website, we say we are all storytellers. You are all storytellers. The entire team of contributors that make Humber Press happen will introduce themselves over the course of this video.
Thank you, Anju, for that great introduction, and thank you everyone for joining us in this video tutorial. My name is Saran Dawajral. I'm editor of Humber Press. At this point, you might be wondering, who is Humber Press? Well, we're a publishing team based in Humber's Office of Research and Innovation, known by the beloved acronym ORI. At Humber Press, we're passionate about sharing stories of research and innovation from every step of the way, from the time when it's just a spark of curiosity to when the research is conducted to the final dissemination of the results. We're with you every step of the way. Because we're so passionate about sharing these stories, we have 5 main platforms that can help you share your story. First is our award-winning research and innovation magazine, Spark. Second, we have our academic journal called Jive. And then we have our research and innovation website, as well as our Humber website. And then we also have our social media pages, as well as YouTube account. No matter where your interest lies, we're here to help you in your storytelling journey.
Thanks, Saran. That's amazing. Well, I have to go back to a favorite quote, Margaret Atwood. She said, "You're never going to kill storytelling because it comes with the human plan. We come with it. It's part of our DNA, actually." So, you know, for the academics, you must be thinking, I need a definition. So here we go. Oxford Learner's Dictionary describes storytelling as the activity of telling and writing stories. Simple as that, right? If you've noticed, storytelling has become quite a buzzword lately. You see it everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Everybody's talking about storytelling for influence, storytelling for organizations. I'm with you there. I get it. But how do you tell effective stories? That's the key here. So I can't help but, think of a genius who has been able to sell his product or their products because of the act of storytelling. Steve Jobs. He said, The most powerful person in the world is a storyteller. Yes, I'm looking down my notes because I don't remember the whole quote by heart. The most powerful person in the world is a storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision and agenda for generations to come. And Seth Godin too said, people don't buy goods and services. They buy relationships, stories, magic. Going back to Steve Jobs and Apple, have you noticed how their new product launches are? It always begins with the person, hair is blowing, or the wind is, taking them from here to there. There's a sunrise, there's ocean in the background, there's nature. It's always about the person. It's always about the person, then about the product. At the Apple stores, have you noticed something in particular? There is a very strange way of storytelling. It's called multi-sensory experience storytelling, I would say. Every MacBook or laptop is purposely kept at a particular angle, 76 degrees. I kid you not. Why? Because Apple wants that as people come in and walk into the store, you actually touch the laptop and put it at an ideal angle that suits you. And by doing this, you're immersed in their story. You become part of the story. Let me give you another example. Tom's footwear. In 2006, the founder, he said, Blake Mycoskie, he said, we wear our impact on our feet. Isn't that wonderful? He came up with the 1-for-1 model, which is when you buy a pair of Toms, one is gifted to somebody in need. By doing this, you become part of the story. And why did you actually buy into this? Is because of the story that was built around it. He was able to convince you to do this because of the way he told the story, because of the way Toms, related the story to you. Even think about, science fiction movies. Imagine a science fiction movie with no story. I couldn't sit through one. But let's think about Star Wars. So George Lucas, when he was filming Star Wars, the original one in 1977, yes, a lot of it was based on fairy tales, the 1930s science fiction writing and stories. But a major part of the concept of Star Wars in 1977 and even in the future was based on Joseph Campbell's book, A Hero with 1,000 Faces. We'll get to that, more of that in a little bit. Storytelling. What else could I share? Your family passes down stories to you around dinner tables and family gatherings. Thinking of that makes me hungry. Well, another really beautiful quote that I have to leave you with, a Native American quote that says, tell me the truth and I will believe. Tell me a fact and I will learn. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. So I hope this video tutorial helps you to tell your stories.
Wow, that was a lot of information, right? Well, hi, I'm Janice Saji. I'm a project assistant here at the Office of Research and Innovation, and I'm a writer with our team here at Humber Press. So I'm here to help you tell your stories better with the rest of my lovely team. And now I get it. The concept of storytelling can be intimidating, especially for somebody who rarely does it or has never done it before. But don't worry. It's not that complicated. Just as people have recipes to help them cook or, manuals to help them use a gadget, just like that, you've got storytelling techniques that can help you tell your stories better. And to help you with this process, we have compiled the best and easiest and most common storytelling techniques to help you with this journey.
I'm Isha Rana, Project Assistant at Humber's Office of Research and Innovation, and a writer here with the Humber Press team. Now, before you think this video is going to be one long sermon about storytelling, wait. To make this digestible, we have divided the video into two parts. The first part is going to deal with storytelling in common spaces. So think about blogs, newsletters, LinkedIn posts, podcasts, even interviews, webinars, and speaking events. You will be able to use the techniques that we share for structuring your research story for maximum emotional impact in any medium of your choice. The second part of this video deals with storytelling in academic journals. So if getting published in a journal has felt overwhelming, tiring, or just plain impossible, then you will benefit from what our managing editor, Anju Kakkad, and Jive's assistant journal manager, Muge Abaj, have to share about the process. But to make sure that you get maximum value from this video, there is one thing you must do. Pause the video when any of us prompt over to you and do the exercises. Now, exercises? No, we don't mean the physical ones. We're not going to make you do push-ups, don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
We mean mental exercises. And you can find these exercises plus some templates that we have created in the link below the video. So are you ready? Over to you. Go and download those templates now.
Thanks, Isha. So, you're back after downloading the templates. Great. But before we move on to actually getting into some of those templates and guiding you through those writing exercises, again, like she said, not the push-ups, the other ones, the actual writing part. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. One is that if you're wondering, well, I wanted to do this video in person. For that, I'd like to say that if you are a group of a minimum of 15 people, we can schedule a in-person workshop and deliver this together as a team. You can reach us at Humber Press at humber.ca. And the other thing is, you may be wondering, well, I've done a little draft of either a story for LinkedIn to talk about my research or innovation project or an academic article, and I just want to touch base with the Humber Press team to make sure that I'm on the right track. Well, in that case, every third Wednesday and Thursday of the month, we will be available between the Lakeshore and the North Campus. In the North Campus at office D224 and at Lakeshore at H206. To confirm that you are coming and that we will be available, please send us an email at humberpress at humber.ca to make sure that one of us is present, and we'd be happy to work one-on-one with you and to give you some of our time. But do keep your drafts ready when you come to us. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a step back for a second. So why do we tell stories? Storytelling is one of the oldest forms of communication that humans have been perfecting over the years. It started out with cave paintings and parchment scrolls. These days, stories are told through a variety of mediums. Whether you're talking to a friend on the phone or scrolling through the internet, you are encountering stories. We tell stories to share our knowledge, understand each other, and ultimately make more sense of the world around us. Our team at Humber Press is here to help you tell your stories. In this video tutorial, we would like to share with you a few tools and techniques that can help in your storytelling journey.
Thanks, Saran. Hi there. So yes, tools and techniques. We are indeed here to help you. But before anything else, you should be expecting this by now. A quote. The author, Daniel Pink, he said, "The future belongs to a different kind of person, a different kind of mind. Inventors, storytellers, artists, creative, holistic, right brain thinkers. But I say storytelling is for left brain and right brain thinkers. Doesn't matter which side of the spectrum you fall on. Storytelling is for everyone." But before we go on further, did you know that when Steve Jobs was fired from Apple in 1985, he founded Pixar? And the movie Finding Nemo, either most of you have seen it or hopefully heard of it. Emma Coates is the one who pitched the idea for Finding Nemo to Pixar. So when she pitched the idea for this, she used a structure for storytelling that follows 6 sequential sentences. Those 6 sentences are: once upon a time there was, every day, one day, because of that, until finally. Sounds kind of dry and boring when I say it like that. How about I take a really light, fun, heartwarming example to actually fill in these sentences. Okay, here goes. Once upon a time, there was an entity named Humber Press. Humber Press was lonely as it is, and then COVID-19 hit and threw a blanket of heaviness and took it out of light. Every day, Humber Press would wonder, when will somebody pull the blanket off of me? I need to see the light. I need to get out there. One day, Humber Press decided, I'm going to take the blanket off myself. Because of that courage and confidence, Humber Press started to wander and found itself at the doorsteps of the Office of Research and Innovation, aka ORI. Because of that, ORI opened its doors and beautifully and warmly welcomed Humber Press into its family. And the Dean of Research and Innovation found Humber Press the perfect team, me and my lovely team, to work with Humber Press and to make it into what it is today. Until finally, a few months back, Humber Press and one of its offsprings, Spark, the Research and Innovation Quarterly magazine, won an award. We won the COPA Award for Best Digital Academic Magazine in Silver Award. Yes, I was going to say gold, but we'll get to gold next year. So you see, it's a very simple formula, the Pixar pitch, 6 sentences, fill it in. So I'm going to ask you to take it up a notch. How about you pause the video here, take that file, fill it in. So do take the time and fill out that template, share it on social media, on your LinkedIn platform, or don't. But we really do want you to have fun with it. Take a dab at it, share your stories, a personal story, a professional story, can be anything, can be fictional, doesn't have to be a real life story. So do that and have fun with it, tag us. Now on to the next technique. So my colleague Isha is going to take it over from me. Hi Isha.
Hi Anju. Hi. Hi everyone, I'm Isha. The second technique that you can use to structure your research story is called know, feel, do. Now this technique is based in the age-old advice of beginning with the end in mind. So before you put even a word to the paper or to the screen, you sit down and you think about what it is that you're trying to get across. First, what do you want the audience to know? What essential facts do you want them to be aware of, and in what order? Second, what do you want the audience to feel as they read through your story, as they listen to it? What emotions do you want to evoke in them? Do you want them to feel calm, energized, righteous, brave, thoughtful, or something else entirely? What is it that you want them to feel? And lastly, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to donate to a cause, to attend an event, to click on a link, to reach out to you? After they're done knowing your story, what action do you want the audience to take? I remember when I had to write my very first article for Humber Press about my experience at the SMR conference. I wrote and rewrote multiple drafts, and yet I could not land on the crux of the story I was trying to tell. So I used the know, feel, do technique to help me. First, I decided on what I wanted the audience to know. So these things formed the 3 takeaways of my blog. Second, I decided on what I wanted them to feel. I wanted them to feel engaged, immersed, and to be able to visualize what it was that I was experiencing. So I peppered little details throughout the article, be they about the nervousness that I felt before the conference, the people that I met, or the little moments that I shared with my team. And finally, I thought about what I wanted them to do, which in the case for this article was nothing in particular. So with this clarity, I sat down and I rewrote my draft, and I kept on polishing it until finally it reflected what it was that I wanted to say. The article is now ready and published, and if you want, you can read it through the link in the template file, which you would have surely or hopefully downloaded by now. Keep in mind though, this technique is not meant for you to manipulate the audience's perception, because frankly, you cannot do that, no matter how brilliant a communicator you are. There's always going to be a cynic, a critic, or just someone who's not interested in your topic. What you are trying to do with this technique is to ensure what it is you want to get across, and to let that inform the organization of your piece and the writing style that you use. Because if those things aren't clear to you, your communication is going to be all over the place. It's going to be garbled and unclear, like static radio. You'll try to connect the dots, but the story will fall flat. And we don't want that now, do we? So in summary, use the know, feel, do technique to determine what you want to say before you say it. So often when we begin to write or to communicate or to just speak to an audience, we just focus on the facts. The emotional quotient gets left behind, when emotions and feelings are the very things that will help you to pull the audience in and to leave an impression. So using the know, feel, do technique, you can hit that holy trifecta of facts, feelings and actions, so that you can create impact and change through your research story. And now finally, my wonderful colleague Janice Saji, hello Janice, will introduce the final storytelling technique to you.
Thank you, Isha. Hi guys, I'm Janice and I'm going to help you with the last and final storytelling technique, that is the hero's journey. I should have probably called for the drum rolls, but anyways. So Stephen King said the best stories always end up being about the people rather than the event. And that's exactly what the hero's journey is about. You. You and the people who brought this research into life. So, traditionally, the hero's journey consists of 17 steps. Yes, wait, I know, it's a lot. But we promised you this would be easy and we always deliver on our promises. So we're going to provide you the condensed version of this technique that can be broken down into 3 simple steps. Ready? Let's get into it. Step 1, the departure. The hero leaves the familiar world behind. Research is a new journey. It requires you to go into new and unfamiliar territories. It requires you to step outside or depart from pre-existing ideas to go and find new ones. So here's where you describe what motivated you to depart from your familiar world and to venture into this new research journey. Go ahead and write it all.
As my colleague Janice mentioned, departure can have both literal and figurative meaning. Think about a time when you encountered a nagging problem and found a simple solution, or you found a quick workaround around the nagging problem. These are the times when you departed from the status quo and decided to come up with a story of your own. As you reflect on your story, think about these times, as they can often mark the beginning of your research and innovation journey.
Step 2, the initiation. Hero learns how to navigate the unfamiliar world. We've established that research is a new journey, and as it is with new journeys, there's the ups and downs of figuring how to navigate this new journey. So I'm sure you must have had a lot of challenges thrown your way while navigating this unfamiliar territory that is your research project. So let the world know through your writings about all these challenges that you had to face, all the ups and downs that you had to face, and let them know how you faced it all.
To help you with structuring your story, we created a template with 3 acts so that it can help you jog your memory to bring out the most meaningful and relevant parts of your story. As you think about your story, don't forget to think about the times when you encountered a challenge or you had to overcome a problem, as these times can often lead to unexpected collaborations or new discoveries.
Step 3, the return. The hero returns to the familiar world. Here's where we use the drum rolls. You've completed your journey. You found the answers that you were seeking. Now it's time to return. Now you return after completing your research journey to your academic institution, and it's time to share your findings. So here's where you write about your findings, write about what matched your expectations, what you were most surprised to find, and what results you're most excited to share with the world. Also, don't forget to share how you'll be assimilating these findings into the world. And there you have it, the hero's, your journey.
Congratulations, you've now completed the first draft of your story.
So, this seems like a lot, isn't it? Don't worry, that is the whole reason we created this video tutorial. This is for you to pause, to play, to download the templates, to take your time working on one particular template. Maybe one particular one suits you more than the other one. Enjoy this video tutorial. I really hope that we will hear back from you in some way. Write to us and tell us what you think about it at Humber Press at humber.ca. There is another really important part of storytelling that my colleague Elizabeth Springate is now going to take you down the path on. Images, visual storytelling. Elizabeth, off to you.
Thanks, Anju. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a graphic designer with the Office of Research and Innovation, and I want to talk about the role of images in your research story. Now, images are incredibly powerful to help you tell your research story and make a real impact in your field. Let's talk about a few reasons. 1, images boost visual engagement. Photos, diagrams, illustrations, maps, and charts, they all boost the visual engagement and make your article more appealing. But that's just the start. Pictures are not just decorations on a text that has already been written. When you incorporate images into your storytelling, you help us understand your research more easily and remember it more vividly. Here's another reason images can reveal or highlight patterns or anomalies that a text-based analysis just can't show, even running a big page of numbers past us. Communicating your data in graphs and figures help us make better, more informed decisions about your findings. Here's one. Images can facilitate collaboration and cross-pollination. Remember, researchers come from different fields and often have different vocabularies and ways of thinking about problems. But images can provide a common visual language. This means that images can help break down barriers and foster collaboration between researchers who might not have been able to work together. Finally, think about inspiring others to build on your work. Images, when you present it in clear and visually meaningful way, it captures the imagination of others and inspires them to take your research in new and exciting directions. This means your work can have a much longer lasting impact than your initial findings. So as you draft and craft your story, think about how images can help you move that narrative along. So what kind of visuals do you need? Well, consider this. There are so many types of graphics and images that you could literally spend a career digging into them. But how do you decide? Think about, first of all, what do you want us to know, feel, and do, for instance? Check out this mix of ways these researchers used images to bring their projects to life, and they had a reason for each decision. Is an article about a community project. Photographs highlight the community and the stakeholders involved. Graphs and charts show the impact of their innovation on social outcomes. And a flow chart can take us through the steps in developing the innovation and implementing it within the community. How about this report on an architectural sustainability project? Photographs document the construction process over time. Diagrams and schematics illustrate the architectural or engineering features that make the building energy efficient. Tables and graphs present the data on energy performance of the building and compare it to other buildings. Hey, let's try a subtle example. You're researching the impact of a new technology on student learning. You could use diagrams to show how the technology is integrated into the classroom environment. A flowchart can show its impacts at different stages of the learning process, and an idea map can help visually organize the input from the students and help us make sense of the relationships between the different ideas. Photography is useful too, but remember, when it comes to taking photographs, we also need to think about consent, credit, and copyright. Now, we have resources on the kit that you're going to download, so you can look there for more. But wait, I hear you. You do research. You're not an artist. Well, there are a ton of easy tools to help you get started. Microsoft 365, already built into Word and Excel, all kinds of graphic tools. Adobe Express is available on the web, doesn't require design training to edit and enhance images, and you can even create your own compelling graphics. Canva, that's another online free platform, and it's packed with templates to get you going. Want some product shots? Shopify has a list of resources. Or how about getting pro-looking headshots of your researchers? Just turn to Wired Magazine or LinkedIn. Deciding what kind of images to use comes down to what you really want us to get. Now, very importantly, visuals are not accessible for low-sighted and non-sighted readers, and they require supports like alternative text and descriptions in order to include all readers in your script. But later, my colleague Andrea will discuss accessibility as it relates to images and visual information. For now, I'll hand it back over to Saran.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was very interesting. If you're looking for more resources related to graphics and visual storytelling, you can hop on over to our Humber Press website at humber.ca. You can even find a recording of this video tutorial there too. Now we'd like to welcome you to the second part of this video tutorial. Andrew, you want to take it over from here?
I sure do, Saran. Thank you for that. Well, one more avenue for you to share your research and innovation stories. Publishing in a journal. I know it can seem a little bit of a daunting task, especially to emerging researchers and innovators, right? Some of you have already gone through that path, but we're here to assist both of you. All of you, to publish in a journal. Sharing your stories and knowledge is where we come in and where publishing in a journal comes in. His Holiness the Dalai Lama once said, share your knowledge. It is a way to achieve immortality. So your stories are going to be there forever, assisting others who may walk the same path of research or the same topic of research as you have. So let's walk on this path together, and hopefully you're going to enjoy the second part as much as you enjoyed the first one.
And get another cup of coffee and make it double shot this time. Fine.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hi, Mugen.
Hello.
A few moments later.
Hey, you must be wondering who that was that tell you get another cup of coffee. My name is Müge Abaç. Welcome to the second part of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed listening all the ways that your stories can be shared. Now, this is the second part of tutorial as we are going to introduce you the Journal of Innovation in Polytechnic Education. In short, we call it Jive. I'm Jive's Assistant Journal Manager.
Thanks, Muge. So what exactly is Jive? Jive is an online open access journal that mobilizes knowledge and insights generated by the global polytechnic community. Jive is electronically published by our team at Humber Press in Humber's Office of Research and Innovation. If you'd like to learn more about Jive, you can go to our website humberpress.ca or jive.ca.
Wow, that was a short, fabulous, and concise introduction. Thank you for that. One more art of storytelling, the ability to summarize. You'll need to do that for your research paper, either as a conclusion or an abstract. But don't worry, we don't need to get into that right now. We will address all of that later on in this video. Why publish in a journal? Well, through your research paper, through your innovation project, you have cited and you have referenced so much material and so much knowledge that has come before you. A well of knowledge that's deep and deepening and growing. So it is time for you to now publish your work, whether it has ended in an answer or whether it has prompted some more questions. It is now time for you to publish in a journal so that other researchers may carry on the work or collaborate with you, or simply you're adding knowledge to that growing base. So some of you are still thinking, I can't do it. Publishing in a journal, oh my God, no. I have to quote, yes, I do love my quotations. I want to quote something that the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said in his book Meditations, one of my favorites, by the way. He said, do not think of that which is humanly impossible. But if it is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. It is possible for you to publish in a journal. You just need to follow a few steps and you just need to practice a little bit. That's where we come in. We're going to help you do that. Let's go back to the name, Journal of Innovation in Polytechnic Education, belovedly called Jive. So in this journal, we publish information when it comes to research. We publish papers that are original research, empirical research, review papers, secondary research, presentation summaries, innovation spotlights, right? So Journal of Innovation, don't forget the innovation in Jive's name. I want to actually prompt you at this point to take a few minutes and write down, what does the term innovation mean to you? What do you think innovation means? Over to you. All right. So did you take a dab at it? I hope you didn't just pause this video and come back. We really do encourage that you are a participant in this journey with us, right? So there is a very interesting video that I want you to watch after I say over to you. This video is a very short one created by our beloved Dean, Dr. Ginger Grant from the Office of Research and Innovation. Hear her to understand what we at ORI consider innovation to be. Over to you. All right, wasn't that wonderful? Short and sweet, right? Another point that I'd like to make is between creativity, invention, and innovation. People often confuse the terms creativity and innovation in particular. Yet again, there is a resource in the downloadable kit that you have downloaded. There is a paper, not a paper, actually, an article that was published in Spark that beautifully elaborates the difference between creativity, invention, and innovation. So if you want to finesse and refine your knowledge of what innovation truly means, please read that article. For now, we're going to take you down a journey through Jive, and we're going to break it down for you so that it makes it easier for you to participate in publishing for a journal.
Thank you, Anju, for educating our audience what really Jive stands for and also how innovation really play a vital role in Jive. I would like to go a little bit deeper with you about how really Jive works and also how can you publish your articles and research in Jive. But it's perfect time to pause this video and refill your coffee. First and foremost, why should you submit in Jive?
Good question. Why publish in Jive, right? Well, research and innovation is about change, isn't it? And research and innovation stories capture and catalyze that change. You know, stories are told not just for the sake of telling stories. Sometimes stories are told to address a particular change. It could be organizational change, a change in mindset, or a change in meaning, as Roberto Vaganti calls it in his book, Design-Driven Innovation. You know, at the Office of Research and Innovation, ORI, we often have this discussion that innovation is the key to the future. But research is key to innovation. So you are going to be writing your research papers and your innovation papers. And you should submit simply for the reason that you want to submit papers that address change, and also because you want to add to that growing body of knowledge. What do I mean? Well, in the past, when you've written papers, either a research and innovation paper or simply go back to your academic days when you wrote essays. You know, you tapped into a well of knowledge, which was papers written by authors before you. You cited those papers at the end of the section under references or citations, right? So imagine you are a professor or a faculty member or a student or a scholar that is addressing that change through a paper or is addressing that change through a research project. Don't you want to be a published author and add to that body of knowledge so that somebody else could someday take on the research where you left off or cite your paper? You know, at Jive, we often say, if you have a story to share, we are here to help you to share it. You do need to write it, and we'll help you to get it done. So, are you going to be the next one who publishes in Jive? Okay, who can publish in Jive?
Thank you for the question, Anju. Great question. Let's go to the who can submit on Jive. Are you a researcher or scholar or emerging researcher across the community or college sectors? You are more than welcome to submit your paper on Jive. It doesn't matter if you are located in Canada or globally. We accept your papers from all around the world. Are you a student or research assistant watching for this video? Well, you're also more than welcome to submit your papers in Jive. But there is a catch. A faculty member must serve as mentor or author on behalf of you to submit your paper. Once again, over to you. Please pause this video and hop on our Jive's archives, because you will notice from our previous issues of Jive and the most recent issue that we have global participations in Jive.
Thanks, Mugi. That was excellent. You know, one more point that I'd like to make. You don't have to have a master's degree or a doctoral degree to be a published author. Are you a scholar or a subject matter expert? You are welcome in Jive. What do I mean by scholarship? You must be wondering, scholar, am I a scholar or a subject matter expert? Isn't it the same thing, or are they different things? They are indeed the same thing. At this point, I will once again refer you to watch a wonderful short video by the Dean of Research and Innovation, Dr. Ginger Grant, where she will address the topic of scholarship. And trust me, that'll make it very clear for you. Over to you.
Did you watch the video? How fruitful was it? And now let's go back to the what types of papers that you can publish in Jive. Jive publishes original research papers and review articles, brief reports, book reviews, innovation spotlights, and essays. Jive accepts them all. Please go back to our handbook again, Jive's handbook, and see what types of categories that your paper can fit in. And you will notice if you go to our handbook, it's also peer reviewed as well.
Thanks, Muge. A quote comes to mind by Benjamin Franklin. Either write something worth reading about or do something worth writing about. Muke was talking about how most of the articles, or how articles are peer reviewed. Well, most of them are peer reviewed. Now, some of you may have this question, I don't want to write an original research paper. I don't want to write an innovation spotlight. I don't want to write a brief review. So, what other categories are welcome? Well, think about it. Have you been to a conference lately and made a presentation? Jive has an option for a presentation summary. When you go back to Jive's archives, as Muge had mentioned earlier, you will have noticed that there were a couple of presentation summaries. Okay, it wasn't a presentation summary. It was a research poster. Well, guess what? Submit the research poster with a short paragraph on what that research poster was about. That is considered a submission as well. All right, one more example. You are a faculty member who analyzed, observed, figured out a better way to conduct your lesson plans. That reviewed, updated, current lesson plan can be a Jive submission as well. Basically, we accept it all. We are here to disseminate your knowledge. Hop on over to Jive, jive.ca, submit.
Now it's perfect time for me to get a cup of coffee.
Of course,
Over
Muge.
to you, Anju.
You need your cup of coffee, I know that. All right. I'm going to begin with a quote yet again. Yes, I do love my quotes. Carl Sagan said, somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. And how is that something going to be known from you? When you publish your research and innovation stories through Jive. But, before we continue, I'll have to address the topic of rolling submissions, because the question that is now on your mind is, when can I publish, right? So, rolling submissions. What do we mean? A little bit of a story here. So, less than 2 years ago, I assumed the editorship of Humber Press. And Humber Press has a few offsprings. As you must have learned in the first part of the video tutorial, our Research and Innovation Quarterly, Spark, our award-winning Research and Innovation Quarterly magazine, Spark. And then the other one is the Journal of Innovation in Polytechnic Education, Jive. So what we noticed that was happening in Jive is that authors or researchers, innovators, were responding to a particular call for papers on a specific topic. Either it was sustainability or whatever it may be. And over time, as we noticed, what is happening in the research and innovation community and what several authors were telling us, we listened to you. And we we adopted the rolling submissions format. So what does that mean? That means that now, all year round, whatever the topic of your interest or expertise may be, you can write a paper on it, or book review, research poster. I won't repeat it all, but you get the message now. So all year round, you can submit your papers with jive.ca. And what happens then? When does it get published? So when you submit your paper, should I call it submission? I think that'll make it easier for the audience, isn't it? So when we have your submission, we are going to go through a peer review process if that particular submission required a peer review process. And when that is done, it gets published online in an open issue. And of course, we share it through our social media platforms. And if you're participating from Humber College, then also through Humber Communique. And for the ones who are not working at Humber College, Humber Communique is our dissemination platform. We get an email every day with everything happening around Humber College. So yes, going back to rolling submissions. At the end of the year, as submissions come in, as they get published and peer reviewed or not peer reviewed, so they're getting published in an open issue. At the end of the year, we close that open issue, but we don't compile it into a collective issue yet. For that, we address our Jive editorial board, who are always kind enough, to have their own contributions, either as form of an editorial note, a forward, or something that's on their mind. Once all that is done, we compile it into a collective issue and we publish it. So that means your paper actually gets published twice with Jive. First, when it goes through the peer review process and it's published online on jive.ca and it's disseminated through our platform. And then at the end of the year, when it gets compiled into a collective issue, early next year, it is also disseminated yet again. Isn't that wonderful? So basically, there you have it, rolling submissions format all year round. Keep submitting, keep them coming. We're here for you. We will publish for you.
Thank you so much, Anju, for the perfect information that you shared. I got my coffee and I brought you a coffee as well.
Thank you.
You needed it.
I really need my coffee. I really do.
Okay, together we can now visit Jive's website. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. Let's walk them through our templates.
Yep.
Now we're going to tackle how do we do all of this? Well, right now on your screen, you must be seeing the homepage of jive.ca. How about we explore it together? First and foremost, you'll need to register and open an account on jive.ca. Under the resources tab, you will see that there is a submissions handbook that you can download. And in the handbook, there will be instructions on how you can register and open an account. So if you've not yet written your manuscript, we have a few templates for your use to begin writing and begin drafting your manuscript. Again, under the resources tab, you can download templates, which are also available in the submissions handbook, but we've also separately linked the templates for you. There are two templates for your use. One is the title page template, and the other is the main article template. Why? Well, as you know, Jive is a double-blind, peer-reviewed journal. We prefer that authors, when they submit their articles, submit the title page and the main manuscript separately. When the article is sent to a peer reviewer for the peer review process, we do not send the title page. In that way, we ensure that confidentiality is maintained and the double-blind peer review ethics is maintained. We require you to save all the information that pertains to your name or details in the title page only. Please do not indicate anything in the main article section that would disclose your identity. And don't forget, once the peer review process is over and the article comes back to you for any revisions, you may at that point add any information in the main section or in the main article that you had excluded before the peer review process. Jive's manuscript template follows the APA format. Jive does not charge any fees for submission or publication. Jive is an open access journal that uses the Creative Commons license. The journal provides immediate open access to its content on the principle that making research freely available to the public supports a greater global exchange of knowledge. The link to the Creative Commons license is below. You can learn more about the Creative Commons license here, and you will see the link again below. Now, at this point, I think it would be a great opportunity for you to pause the video, and I'd like you to get two documents ready in front of you. So the resources package that you would have earlier downloaded, you will see a manuscript template. So we have an empty template in front of you. There are a couple of sections that we ask our authors to ensure that their articles contain, even if it's a regular essay or an innovation spotlight. I would like to emphasize that the section on abstract and keywords is particularly important. So the empty template that you have, consider jotting down notes at this point. Pause the video every time we go through a little section and think about it. Are you participating in any research project? For that matter, in any innovation project? Do you want to participate in a research project? Have you completed a research project recently or not so recently? So if you were to write an article and submit to a journal, how about you take this opportunity, pause after each section and jot down some points, bullet points, anything. This is for you. It's for your practice. So let's start with the abstract. The abstract is a crucial component of all submissions. The abstract should contain information about why the study was conducted, as well as the study's purpose, even the main findings, research methods, conclusions as well, and any sources of funding. So it's literally a snapshot of what you're about to read in the rest of the article. And immediately followed by keywords, and we say give at least 6 to 8 keywords. So why don't you pause this video? Over to you. Welcome back. So let's go over to the next section, method. The method section should enable a reader to gain an understanding of how the study results were obtained. You can hop on over to Jive.ca and look at archives, and there are many, many examples on how other authors have articulated themselves and the study results that were obtained. Next section, results. The results of the study should be presented in a logical structure along with any tables and illustrations. Once again, it's very important to talk about accessibility. Keep watching this video and Andrea Chan will guide you through the accessibility section. Over to you if you want to pause and jot down some notes. Discussion. Discussion section should elaborate on the significance of the study findings while comparing the results with other studies in the field. This is a section that you can elaborate a little bit more, get into some limitations of the study. All findings addressed in the discussion section should also be included in the results section. You can pause the video. Over to you if you want to jot down some notes. Welcome back. Now, my favorite section, impact. In this section, we encourage authors to reflect on the impact of their research study. Who do you hope to reach through your scholarly work? And what kind of impact do you envision? What would you like to share with your audience? Any variables or metrics to measure the impact would be welcomed here. Even if you are mentioning potential impact of your study, we highly encourage you to take a moment and really reflect upon the impact of your research study. You can pause this video and jot down some notes. Over to you. Welcome back. We are on the last section, which is conclusion. Authors should reiterate the research question, hypothesis, and major findings of the study. The contribution of the study to the existing literature should be indicated along with any limitations that might have influenced the findings. Recommendations for further research studies can be specified here. So you can pause this video yet again and come back when you're ready. Over to you. A few more sections to go through. Yes, I did say that was the last, but a couple of ones that are important. Conflict of interest, acknowledgement, funding. Please take a moment and ensure that you have filled all the necessary requirements. Of course, if they apply to your study. You may pause this video and come back when you're done. It goes without saying that references and citations should be in APA format, and all details will be available to you in Jive Submission Handbook. We highly encourage you to download the handbook, to review it and read it in its entirety. We really hope that we've been able to provide you some important and useful resources through the handbook. Over to you.
Okay, that was a lot of information. But now let's just assume that you have your story and manuscript ready for submission. But before you actually hop on over to Jive.ca and click submit, did you know that we already have created a checklist that can help you make sure that you've covered everything? And that checklist includes one last crucial step, which is spell checking and proofreading your manuscript. If you can, it's really helpful to share your manuscript with a colleague or a friend who can proofread it for you. They might just catch a typo or two along the way. After you proofread your manuscript, you can send it to us, and your manuscript will go through our double-blind peer review process. As part of this process, the manuscript reviewer and the author remain anonymous to each other throughout the entire process. Double-blind peer review process has multiple benefits, including improving the quality of papers and ensuring previous research work is acknowledged. Once the peer review process is done, it comes back to us again, and we Our editorial team will review and proofread your manuscript, and we will make sure that all the punctuation, spelling, and syntax are good to go. After that, Jive's layout designer, Andrea Chan, takes over the process to make the manuscript readable, accessible, and just beautiful. Andrea, would you like to share with our audience how they can make their manuscript more accessible?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, I'm Andrea, the graphic technologist in the Office of Research and Innovation. Now that you have learned about the importance of graphics, how graphics can convey the message and add engagement earlier by my colleague Elizabeth Springate, I'm here to provide a brief overview of accessibility and things you'll need to take into consideration when you submit your manuscript. So, why accessibility? Steve Ballmer, former president and CEO of Microsoft, once said, "Accessible design is good design. It benefits people who do not have disabilities as well as people who do. Accessibility is about removing barriers and providing the benefits of technology for everyone. With accessibility, when one person benefits, we all benefit." Think about elevators or automated doors, originally designed to help those with mobility limitations. Now everyone has access to these things. We have all benefited from accessibility in one shape or form. In Ontario, we follow the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, also known as the AODA. The AODA is a statute that was enacted in 2005 by the Legislative Assembly of Ontario in Canada. It aims to improve accessibility standards for Ontarians with physical and mental disabilities to all public establishments by 2025. So, how does this affect your visuals? With accessibility, our goal is to cast as wide a net as possible to meet as many people's needs. We want to make our graphics clear and easy to understand. While there are many topics and courses you can take to learn more about accessibility, here are 3 key points I want to point out for your consideration. They are contrast, alternate text, also known as alt text, and accessible graphs and tables. For contrast, use high contrast colors. Ensure that text and visual elements have a high contrast with their background to make them easier to read or see. This helps people with visual impairments or color blindness to better perceive the content. Alternate text, also known as alt text, is the text description of an image or video for people who cannot see the visual content. Fun fact, creating an alt text also improves search engine ranking. When writing your alt text, it's important to make it concise. Try to keep the character count 140 characters or less. Take the following into consideration. What description is needed for the reader to understand the information presented? What is the context of the image? Let's use this image as an example. If I'm writing a report on collaborative learning, here the alt text could be individual putting sticky notes with brainstorming ideas up on wall in collaborative team meeting. Now to our last point, accessible graphs and tables. When creating a graph, it's important that the user can clearly access the information regardless of their ability to see the visual content. Ensure that important information is not conveyed through color alone. People with color blindness may not be able to distinguish between certain colors, so using color alone may cause them to miss important information. In this example of an inaccessible graph, the user would have difficulty understanding the information being presented. The data points are all the same color or pattern, making it difficult to distinguish them from each other. There's no title or caption to describe the purpose of the graph. Finally, there is no description of the graph in text format for users who cannot access the visual content. In this example of an accessible graph, this graph has clear labels for the X and Y axis. The data points are differentiated by different colors and patterns, and there is an alternative description for the graph in the text format. If applicable, a supplementary table is beneficial to users who cannot access the visual content. Finally, tables should not be used for layout formatting. It should be used as a data resource. That means one piece of information per cell where table headers are clearly labeled. To learn more about accessibility, please see the resource documents you downloaded earlier or refer to the resource link listed in the description. We hope these tools will help you dig further into accessibility and storytelling.
Oh, hello there. Yes, we are almost at the end of this video tutorial. And you know what's coming next, right? A quote. Khalil Gibran. It has been said that next to hunger and thirst, our most basic need is for storytelling. I really hope that you have enjoyed our storytelling style, through which we've tried to guide you to become storytellers. You actually already are storytellers. You were just a little intimidated perhaps, or perhaps wondering where to start, and I hope this video has been instrumental in helping you begin that journey. So a few things before we wrap up, which is first and foremost, thank you to our leader and mentor, Dr. Ginger Grant, Dean of Research and Innovation. Why in particular am I thanking her? The culture that we have created here at ORI, thanks to her, and the culture that we even experience across Humber College actually, is that of inclusivity, equity, diversity. Have you noticed in this video tutorial that we all come from diverse backgrounds? So this culture of inclusivity really speaks to our ethos and our philosophy. And our dean, Dr. Ginger Grant, has created a space where we are allowed to do things like creating this video tutorial. Few more things before we wrap up, which is a reminder that every third Wednesday and Thursday of the month, you can find us either at North Campus, D224, or Lakeshore Campus, H206. At the end of this video, or as part of the resources that you've downloaded, you will find a time-lapse video created by Philippe, the genius behind this video camera. If it was not for him, we wouldn't have this video tutorial. So big thanks to Philippe. And he's smiling right behind the camera right now. What else did I want to tell you? Yes, at the end of this video tutorial, you do not want to miss something really fun. Trust me, you don't want to miss the end credits. You are going to be laughing with us and at us, and yes, it is allowed. You must have noticed by now that we take our work very seriously, but we have fun doing it, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. Work hard, but also make it fun. Right? That's the best combination. And how can you make it fun when you have passion for it? We are all passionate storytellers here at Humber Press, and we really hope that you will share these stories on LinkedIn. And at this point, I would like to say bye-bye. Bye. Bye. There is one more avenue through which you can
Hi, I'm Isha Rana, project manager.
Yes. Just by now that I'm going to start with the course. So yes, I am. Daniel Bear.
How they can help.
This first.
Wow, that was a lot, yeah?